Have you ever gone and created something that you were once proud of and then to look back on it years later and just wonder, why? I've been drawing fake Pokemon for years, and I decided to go back and review all the ones that I drew many years ago because they are interesting. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to DeadBedSpread's Fakémon Reviews. Starring me, DeadBedSpread.
Hello, bees and girls! Are you ready to see amazing dragons, incredible forms of nature, swamp creatures of ultimate doom, creatures of the deep ocean that inspire and scare, and trans-dimensional beings?
Well, too bad, because they're not in this video. First, today we have Zarab. Its name is a combo of lizard and double. Despite this thing looking like a dragon, it's a normal type. Because reasons. Also, sweet down, this boy's been benching. Look at those pecs. Also, Fake perspective, I guess. I mean, look at their heads. They have two completely different anatomical structures. Or skulls, as you normies would say it. I mean, because this is number 84 in my decks, it does line up with number 84 in the real decks. Doduo, it's just a lizard Doduo. Maybe it's even a hairless Vilos. I wonder will it get 3 heads when it evolves. So upon level 36, Zarab evolves into Zardrip, a name compounded from lizard and triple. It's still a normal type despite each head having a different element. Thanks, Tri-Attack. Despite Tri-Attack being fire, electric, and ice, the third head is blowing bubbles, which suggests water type. You couldn't even get that right past DeadBedSpread. You actual fool. I mean, like Lizard Dodo, this is just Lizard Dodrio. Although the similarities to the Dino line are really evident here. I mean, as far as it's a blue reptile with many heads. It's fine, it's not offensive, it's not great either. Coming up next, we've got Seat. Like seal, but a seat. It's a grass type because it's made of wood, I guess. This thing was inspired by the video Pikachu on Acid, where the joke is that a chair was a Pokemon, which I thought was the absolute funniest thing at the time. Good job, me. It's pretty It's actually not terrible. I like that it's the back of the chair, so not obviously a chair at first glance. But what's the tail, like a placemat? What is this? On reaching level 35, it evolves into table, like Dugong. I remember it being just a table, but Dugong, so I had to make it a Tay-Bull. Tay-Boro. Tay-Boro. Despite being made of the exact same material, Tay-Bull is now part ground type. I guess this is because the wood type doesn't exist, but then why sea ground? What are you doing? Just trying to be contrarian for the sake of diversity? You made a fucking bull table. What are you trying to do here? I mean, what else would a seat evolve into other than a table? A bigger seat? Don't be ridiculous. Shut up. Idiot. Wrecked. This thing's design is all over the place. Also, its eyes are kind of just 2D semicircles hanging off of its body. Ew. Nasty. Yucky-like. Stop it. Gway. You're a fucking tube, boy. YouTube. If Dodo became a lizard, and Seal became a seat, what could Grimer become? Cuties! Oh, yucky, not boy! Get away! Fuck that boy! No! Gway! Cuties, the cute Cuties, is kinda gross. It wouldn't be half bad if it didn't have those giant, flaccid, uncooked sausage legs. Of course, this absolute brainless is poison type, as nobody wants to get cuties. It also reminds me of this one meme. After gaining enough experience to level up to level 30, Cuties evolves into herpes. Come on, man. What are you at? What were you doing with your life? Did you have friends back in school? Did you have friends after school? Do you have friends now? No? I think I know why. You fucking degenerate. I mean, you know what? Yeah, we had prostitutes, we had mental disorders, we had unborn fetuses, we had a literal toilet strapped onto a duck. I mean, it was only a matter of time before you got to a sexually transmitted disease. Its name is a derivative of herpes. This freak sports various swollen pustules. Like, who would use this? would you go out into the game and literally use this thing? Nobody would. Though maybe this one guy would. I don't know. Number 90, it's Pisces or Pisces. I've never said that out loud before. It's an amalgamation of trap and Pisces. Or Pisces. I don't know how to say that, even though I am one. So remember how Obliviture, which was based on Slowbro, had that fish-shaped tail? Well, this is the fish, as it shares its Pokedex number with Shelder. How fucking interesting is that? Couldn't even manage to give a fish symmetrical fins either, and everybody said I was good at art when I was young. I also don't know what possessed me to combine a bear trap and a fish. Hey Jim, you going out hunting some bears in these seas? Yeah, some water bears. It's not a fucking joke. Go ahead and feed this chompy boy a water stone and it evolves into Trapredor. The Trap Predator. And it's literally just longer. An extra head spike and a dick fin. That's it. Couldn't take inspiration from anything like, oh, I don't know, something that lives in the ocean and chomps. A shark? This name kind of sounds like Trapdoor. That's the most interesting thing about it, I guess. This link could have really gone somewhere, but it ended up just being so boring. Every evolutionary line in this video has just been a ripoff of the line that they share their dex number with in the original Pokedex. Please, past me, I am begging you, please, just give me something original. One original Fakémon. Snot! Seriously, it's feckin' Snot! The Phantom Phlegm, a naughty nostril nugget. Boogerm, the ghost poison type, like Ghastly, yippee, they are all rip-offs. Yahoo! Is a literal pile of snot. But not only that, not only is it snot, but it's got a bloody hair sticking out of its head. Not bloody like, oh mate, I went down to Tesco and they're all out of bloody Diet Coke. I mean bloody like bloody, literal blood. Why? Its name is a combo of boo, booger, and germ. I genuinely have no idea what inspired this. It could have been Rock-a-Block. The only thing that I could think would have inspired past me would be the Amiiboids from Ratchet and Clank. Right. After gaining its 28th level, Boogerm evolves into Snotula. I'm sorry, what? Snot Dracula? Of course, as this is based off the Ghastly line, the second evolution would sprout hands. And of course, they would also be made of congealed blood. You know, looking at this now, and this definitely was not done intentionally. This thing's legs have a similarity to a vampire's fangs. And they're made of blood. Vampires suck blood. Dracula is a vampire. So maybe this is the greatest Fakémon of all time. I did it. I did it. Trade this phlegm gremlin to someone because, honestly, why would you want to keep it? And it will evolve into Gengar. Snot Gengar. Gunkgar. No, because a name like Gunkgar would make too much sense. This thing is called Frankenphlegm. Frankenstein. Phlegm. Not Frankensnot or Mankenstein. Frankenphlegm. There's nothing I can even say about this. It's a Snot Gengar. It's got a bolt going through its head and blood. So much more blood. Because Gengar Mega evolved, I guess this thing has to as well. What would a Mega of this even look like? Just more snot? Or just more blood? Or why not both? Listen here, buckos, it's time to redesign. And boy, have we got our work cut out for us today. If you can think of any alternate names or types for any of these redesigns I'm about to do, make sure to leave those suggestions in a comment down below. Starting with Zarab, this redesign shouldn't be too hard. Concept's already kinda there, so we'll make it much lower to the ground with two intertwining tails that resemble one. And instead of having pecs, let's give it some sort of serrated scales. Between the scales would be a more neutral color, because this guy's still a normal type. I decided kinda late that I would only give it 2 legs, so it's 2-headed, 2-legged, 2-tailed. It's all about the number 2. Did you get it? Despite this thing being a first stage, I imagine that it would still be pretty big and intimidating to other Pokemon in the wild. So for redesigning Zarab, we're gonna make those heads a bit more stylized and dragony. Each head will have the same color horns, like the original, but instead of the red horns of the original, it would be the new neutral hue of the redesigned Zarab. The 2 tails have now become 3, and are now plaited into a single tail. The serrated chest scales now make their way all up along the neck and stop at the head. This is where things get interesting. Each head's element is represented by the color that is now coursing through their neck and horns. Also, let's make sure to make the blue head ice this time. You big brain turd. This thing would definitely have some sort of type ability or gimmick. Maybe when it uses Tri-Attack, it changes to one of those 3 types, or you could have a rotation battle mechanic exclusively on this Pokemon, where you can choose what head takes charge each turn. If the ice type head is leading and facing against a fire type, switch to the fire type head, resist the damage. What could also be cool is how this Pokemon ties into the attack Tri-Attack. Let's say attack twice in the same sentence, that's a really fucking good idea. Let's say you've one of the heads leading in the battle. The secondary effect of that type in Tri-Attack would have a boosted chance of being applied. The electric head is leading, 50% chance of being paralyzed. Ice head's leading, 50% chance of being frozen. But the heads don't get stab off Tri-Attack, so maybe it could have like a normal form, and then it's normal type. A lot of potential for an idea like this to be put into the game.
Hey, Game Freak, hire me, or like do like good ideas with your games instead of making stupid things and stuff nobody wants. That'd be an idea, wouldn't it? It's a pretty cool idea if I do say so myself, and of course I'd say that because I came up with it. Narcissism.
Also, this thing has 3 legs. So, seat is a seat. There's really not much that you can change about it without losing that. As I said, I didn't mind Seat's original design that much, so I'm gonna kind of stick with it, just stylize it a bit more. Though instead of that nonsensical tail, it now has kind of a hump that resembles a pillow. How cute is that? Table was a different story. I knew I wanted it to be more bull-esque. I still like the visual of it facing widthways rather than lengthways. I played around with the idea of having a fruit bowl sitting on it and having a tablecloth with a bull pattern that was its face and all this other stuff, and then I thought, well, it seats a chair, and then, you know, you could have a chair upside down on a table, and then that kind of looked like a bull's face to me, and then it can still have the bull tablecloth, so it can be disguised into them, and it's super weird. And I don't even know if I'm that in love with it, but if you have any ideas about it, do let me know, and I'll tell you why later. Cuties is one of those things that just shouldn't exist. Interesting fact though, Cuties, despite being related to icky kissies as a kid, actually originated from head lice. So, if we want to go with some sort of bug and the pustule concept, I've actually already made a Fakémon based on those. I reveal to you Crabuncle, which evolves into Pustation. Ah yes, zit crabs. What? However, part of me views that as cheating, I guess. So I'll redesign them anyway. Cuties remains mostly the same, with some better proportions, and its big old dick legs have now become 6 itty bitty ones. You know, like a bug, like a louse. Nice to meet you. Feck off. So, herpes, please provide me with a new name down below. We can't have it called that. Gave me a lot of trouble when I was redesigning it, but I think I came up with something. So originally I kind of had its 6 legs become much more rigid underneath it and having its kind of swollen cheeks and kind of pustules on its head. Then I kind of went with the louse aspect and had it kind of look like a wood louse curled up, still with the big cheeks, and then kind of the cheeks reminded me of eyes, so then I gave it this big kind of chin, which looks like Cutie's mouth. So it kind of has like this illusion where it has this big happy face, but it's actually like an uncomfortable dude. I wanted to have its 6 legs kind of blend into all its other spikes, and all these spikes in combination with the legs, yeah, this thing is it's a virus. How topical is that? I started this series 2 years ago. Shit! Pisces was an odd one. It's actually based off a creature from my Not Pokemon comic book that I wrote when I was even younger and stupider. More stupid. So redesigning this, I can still have bladed tipped fins, but its head will be much more uniform with the body, instead of just having this big, clunky metal head. Wow, this predatory fish actually looks kind of cute. Maybe it could also have metal teeth. It makes you think it's harmless, and then it bites your dick off. So, where to take the entirely uninteresting Trepredator? I mentioned earlier that an aquatic Pokemon with sharp teeth should be a shark, but I already have a shark. The thing is, there are many kinds of shark. Taking more inspiration from the trap part of its name, I looked at fish traps, and then it hit me. Fish trap, basking shark. Trepredator is now an absolute unit, boasting an enormous mouth with see-through gills, which house reinforced steel beams so that its prey can do nothing but watch the outside world as they inevitably digest and meet their demise. Wow, that got kinda dark. Originally I had it just stay the same color red as Pisces, but then I thought if it's a water steel, wouldn't it be cool if it's rusting? Kinda makes it look like an old jail cell too. And basking sharks are kinda that color as well. Are they? I don't know. Kinda gives it the vibe of a tiger shark too. Animals are cool. So, Snot. It's not a problem. Fuck off. Would you believe that out of all the concepts of this old fake dex, the Snot Ghost was actually something that I did repurpose? I present to you Booger. Boo, goo, booger, you get it? Incredibly rare, one can know that they've entered a Boogers territory if they find it covered in large amounts of green slime. Despite their goofy appearance, Boogers are notorious for getting people stuck in their sticky traps. So despite me only making one of these, we still gotta redesign the two others of this line. Boogers will stand in as the replacement for Frankenflem. Its initial stage, Le Bébé Snot, will simply be a drop of snot with an eye. Nothing more, nothing less. Upon evolving, it's beginning to develop more features like a second eye, and two big long dangling arms resembling two big trails of snot hanging out your nose. Icky out. So, because Gengar got a Mega, I guess we gotta give this malevolent mucus a malicious Mega to boot. So let's see. Snot Drop, to Snot Drips, to Snot Glob, to Nostrils. So Boogers goes fully supernatural and transdimensional, retreating to within a cloud of ghostly gas, showing nothing but its glowing eyes and viscous, vicious arms. The red bands on its arms now start to drip due to its massive energy output, bringing it back to the bloody snot of its predecessors. So there you go. Snot Demon. Yeah! Hey, happy quarantine everybody. Trying to pump these out. I've recently gotten a job and I'm just now getting some free time. Gonna try and pump a few of these out. So that is kind of cool. Look at how all these guys fit on this chart that I made of my redesigned Fakémon. But notice up the top there how a lot of them are missing? Yeah, I think for the next episode or two, we're gonna go back and do some redesigns for all those guys I missed. As well as some that I just don't like anymore. So if you do have any redesign ideas for Table, let me know and I might just feature them in its redesign. Whoa. Have you ever seen such a thing? It also helps drive up the engagement on the video, which therefore will help me get more views and maybe motivate me to make these faster. You never know. If you do like Fakémon, in the meantime, I'm working on a very cool collab, so if you want to see that, subscribe and keep your eyes open. But yeah, that's all from me. I've been DeadBedSpread, and all the best.